Hello, hello. I never get to dress like this. I really don't. This is like the one opportunity I get to like wear a skirt. This is exciting for me. So I am probably the last person you should be taking advice from. I did not want to do a startup. In fact, that's probably my first slide. I had zero interest in building a startup. I did not know what startup life meant. Okay, yes, I recommend it. I have a lot more skills now, but I came into this very, very naive. So what's YC? That's an actual question I've asked. I did not know what YC was when we first started out. I applied to YC because I wanted the grant to pay off this girl who was doing benchmarking work for us at the mining building in U of T. I legitimately didn't know what I was doing. So as Alex mentioned, my background's in quantum computing. I was living in Tokyo at the time. I had no idea I'd be in the mining industry now, cut to almost 6 years later. Yeah. Do not recommend this pathway. I am the outlier. Do not do this. Build what you know. But I will say this. The only reason why this happened, and it happened well for me, is because all of the different, all the factors had to come together kind of perfectly. I was home in Toronto for like a month and a half. I was doing some benchmarking work on some quantum computers. Mining build is next door. I need a data set. Where am I gonna go? I go over there, pick one up, do some stuff, and I realized that, the way they've been doing this for the last 50 years kind of sucks. And the profit margins show it's 10% more profit margins for a $200 million revenue mine. That's terrible. And the only reason why that's the case is they don't know what's in the ground and how much. They're kind of bad at it. So I thought, you know what, I'm smart, I could do this. So we took the data set, tried to predict something. Did not work. It was terrible, it didn't even converge. If you know anything about ML, we did not even converge to an answer. It was a negative number. You cannot get negative gold. Yeah, so this is what I'm dealing with. So, trying to build out this thing, I'm pitching this crazy idea. I'm gonna tell the mining industry what's in the ground better than they can, and they've been doing it for 50 years. Rejections, all over the place. Like, they were nice about it. They're like, you know what, we're not gonna move forward. Oh, we don't know anything about mining. That's my favorite. This is super compelling, and I could see the value here, but you're just too early. It's a lot, yeah. The only piece of advice I would give you, because we were very niche and is a very high IP heavy product, do not talk to investors that could be your competitor, especially for somebody like us where they'll likely only make one mining investment in their life. Don't do that. So I was smart about it. So I was pretty used to VC rejection. We had an inkling that this could work. There's a pathway, but we needed a little bit of cash. We needed some, brute force to get it there. And honestly, it took like 3 years of just pure R&D brute force to get there. But in any case, we still need cash. VCs rejected us across the board. I had to change tactics. Who will understand this? It's family offices. Family offices have diversified their investments in so many different ways. Mining is a safe investment. They'll get this. So when people say, hey, I'm good at fundraising from VCs, I am not that person. I fundraise from a totally different set, and frankly, they're helping me more than, all credit to you guys. You helped move the tech industry forward, but I know who my people are. So if there's no way, you can't get through the door, jump through the window. I literally just did that. So mining is an interesting place, and I don't even know if many of you know this. Top 10 of all our exports as Canadians is mining. So mining is our industry, it's ours. But you probably won't know if you're meeting a miner. You won't. So let me walk into an office one day as this, machine learning math lady, being me, and I say, hey, look, I can predict what's in the ground better than you can. Did not work. They laughed me out of so many offices. I'm staggered that I'm still here, honestly. But what that meant is that I have to start talking like them. Cut to me today, I can out-talk any geologist out there. I know what's going on better than they do. but that's me having to level up. That's what's required. If your industry requires it, just do it. Like, there's nobody else who's gonna learn that problem better than you can. So, I mean, I didn't have a choice, I just did it. So, and that's another thing I will point out as well. For any industry that's a legacy industry, you throw mining at them, they're not gonna care. Mining was around, IBM was trying to do stuff back in 2018 with the mining industry, nobody cared. I'm telling you this, for most of the legacy industries out there, metrics matter. Show them value upfront, otherwise they won't listen to you. So, because you can show them all this, and they're like, okay, literally this, and then I just walked out. So as I mentioned, cut to 3 years of we finally got something. And by we finally got something, it meant that we were traveling to Kazakhstan and we're figuring out how to actually predict the gold in the ground on the plane. We land there, we put a hole in the ground, and we found visible gold. Cut to when we actually finished the thing, it was $17 million worth of gold. Traveling became a problem. My clientele is worldwide and in really weird places. Kazakhstan, Chile, Papua New Guinea, Saudi Arabia, I'm everywhere. Traveling is a problem. If I told myself one thing in the past, pay for the preferred economy, pay for the direct flights. Trust me, your time is so valuable. Your body will thank you. Like, literally, vacation's not a vacation. It's Wi-Fi that's not in your house. Like, so if there's one thing I look for, working plug, carry as many power banks as you can, and massage chairs. Massage chairs will help you, because my body is like fully broken at this point. Oh yeah, and of course, I also schedule all my VC calls the hour before my flight. Not interrupted, and it makes me look really busy. Pro tip. It's like, oh yeah, I'm flying to Saudi Arabia, and after this, I'm going to Macau. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it helps. So, and then the other thing to note is that when you're traveling, especially for your clients and all that, things are always gonna go left. It always happens this way. You need to have a team that can pick up the slack when you're not there. And given the fact that ours is a global company first, I had to have people pick up the slack. Like, the one time I took a vacation back, I think like 2 years ago for 3 days, I was in Zanzibar and I'm at the beach. What happens? Texas snowstorm happens, all my servers are shut down. What do? Get on a call, pay a guy to go get me another SIM and start making calls to see if I can spin up new instances. This is normal, this was like a Tuesday. So you work with what you got. So I'm gonna give a special shout out to my mom, because there was a lot to do. I'm carrying, and this is a one-woman show for the most part, especially on the admin side. Yeah, mom was my assistant before I had an assistant. Mom was doing my printouts. Mom was ordering things for the company. She's helping me with my last-minute financials. Mom is an MVP. Like, obviously, my mom's not here. She's at home. But I'm gonna give some serious credit to her because she was my assistant before I had one. Like, give some kudos to the people in your life who are dealing with you in your manic ways, who are helping you without asking for anything back. You just have to give them their kudos. So yeah, yay, mom. Yeah. Yeah, she also tests all of the samples I get for giveaways at conferences. She's excellent. She knows what she's doing, yeah. So, this is really funny to me, because I've never understood this as an outsider. Like, as I said, I didn't know what YC was. So I didn't understand how people are willingly going into this lifestyle, knowing that there's a 10% success rate, and you're getting a paid eat to live salary for like 5 years, and you're pulling hours that no human should be pulling. So I didn't get it. In fact, like, this is my social life right now. I'm gonna go back home and work. It is what it is. So I didn't think that this was the right motivation for me. Like, startups has never been an investment for me. It is not a good one if you're talking about a rate of return here. Like, so at the end of all of this, I promise this is not all depressing. There is a thread, I promise. So, as I said, great. It's not an investment. The mental gymnastics is real. I don't think anybody prepped me for the mental gymnastics. I remember back in the early days, we got our first contract, and then the signing week, they pulled out. Cue, like, me crying from happiness and then also crying from sadness. It was bad. Like, this is very normal. Your family, your friends are gonna take the L on this one. Be nice to them as much as you can. Again, lots of kudos to my mom, my dad for dealing with all of this. Yeah. So get your coping mechanisms straight. Like, know that this is something that is normal for doing a startup. If you feel crazy, that is normal. So your coping mechanisms can be healthy. I would promote healthy coping mechanisms. I didn't know this coming in, so my coping mechanism was literally eating my body weight. The amount my weight has fluctuated during this process is crazy. I'm feeling pretty good right now, so like my stress is pretty low. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So why? Why do I put myself through this? Even after all of this crap, why would I do this? And everybody will have a different motivation. Mine is, and this has been the case since the very beginning of my career outside of startups, I'm interested in solving tough problems. I like stuff that requires a little bit of squeezing my brain to get things to work. Of course, that's not my day-to-day anymore, but every single day, that is what shapes the culture of the company. We are R&D first. We are very much trying to level up every single day, and that's what keeps us being the only company of our type in the mining industry. So if that's my motivation, share that with your team. And it helps because when it comes to my team, they're also motivation for me. My team has put trust in me to run this thing when I really shouldn't. I'm punching above my weight class every single day, but because I'm willing to go as far as I need to, so are they. So, cut to last year when nobody, or I guess technically the year before, when nobody was raising, and we just had to live off of our revenues. My team was there. We didn't cut salaries, don't get me wrong, but they didn't rage quit because they didn't get their promotions. They knew they had to work twice as hard. They knew that. And as much as I guess my motto is, if I keep my employees happy, they'll keep my customers happy, because I can't do everything. So, yeah, props to my team. It's a very interesting looking crew. Yeah, some of them are as old as my dad, which that is an interesting employee-employer dynamic, kind of weird. But if there's one thing I would take away as my ability to survive all of this, especially with an industry that is as hard as mining, it's adaptability. I am not afraid to learn how to do taxes. I know how to read a legal document like nobody else. I can vibe code a Tetris demo for my next conference. It is what it is. You do what you need to do. There's no job that's too big or too small for me, because at the end of the day, we're all kind of parts of our brain cell that kind of makes it work. So with all of that said, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my job. I just did not know what I was getting into. But at the end of the day, one of the things that came out of it was I learned so much. My skill set is so crazy right now that I feel confident, after putting everything I can into this, and let's say I exit, really well in all of that, I know I can go anywhere else and put those same traits somewhere else. Because if I can do mining, I can literally do anything. Like, mining is hard. So with all of that said, I think that's the takeaway here. I'm trying to give you as much. I'm kind of naive, and I walked into this pretty blind. I'm trying to give you a little bit of information so that it's not so blind for you. But I hope that there's a core motivation that keeps you going through all of the hard times. So with all that said, thanks so much.
Thanks. Questions? Put up your hand. We'll get a runner out to you. Phoenix, see questions? I'll ask one to Alex here. What's been, of everything up there or not up there, what's been the most surprising learning for you?
I learned Spanish on the fly. Okay, actually better yet. When I was in Brazil for a site visit for one of my clients, I don't know Portuguese, and I took one of my team members, but she's not technical. Cut to me watching a bunch of Brazilian telenovela just to pick up the language, so that like if they're speaking to me, I can sort of follow what they're saying, even though I'm replying in English. That way, Adi, my regional manager, who's pictured actually right smack in the front, can translate for me. I've had to learn so many languages on the fly. Currently, it's Arabic because of my Saudi clients. Yeah, that's been interesting. Yeah, so yeah, you can call me a language savant right now.
Last question.
Thank you for presentation. I have two questions. Is how many hours do you sleep? And what's your favorite nonfiction book?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So I hardly sleep. You're not wrong. It's getting better. It used to be so much worse. The travel did not help. My jet lag really screwed me up. I think I'm probably right now at the moment, I'm probably sleeping around 6 hours. That's pretty good. I'm trying to, de-stress. I think I've gone through the hard part now. My job has changed again when you talk about adaptability. I'm trying to empower all my hires. Actually, speaking of which, I'm hiring like crazy right now. Apply at stratum.ai/careers. Okay, so that's the plug. Yeah, so my job right now is basically empowering all those people to copy parts of me, because that's been a common issue or a common comment. How do we copy Farzis in our organization? Truth is you can't, but I can copy the things that would help, and that also means hiring globally. That's also been an interesting challenge. Hiring in places like Australia and Saudi Arabia and things like that. Nonfiction book. Sorry, I don't have a good answer for you because I'm actually one who enjoys reading as a true pleasure of mine. So the last book I read that is fiction and slightly apocalyptic is Ken Follett called Never. I usually use I use planes for reading. Yeah, it talks about how you basically go from DEFCON 5 to DEFCON 1. It's a whole thing. Yeah. So I wish I had a better, I don't really have startup-y advice for you in that way, and it's because of the way I've done things. It's been really, that's why I said, don't take advice from me. Seriously, don't take advice from me.
We have one last question.
Yeah, a quick one. How did you manage to find and walk in the door of the first 10 clients of yours?
Okay, so as I said, please don't take advice from me. It just doesn't, it doesn't copy and paste very well. So as I mentioned, I was living in Tokyo, right? So I was living in Tokyo and working out of there, and actually this might be useful. I scratched that. So while I was working in Tokyo, I talked to my trade commissioner there. So Canada has this amazing program called the Trade Commissioner Service, and their job is to connect businesses to customers in your particular sector in other parts of the world. So Japan has a trade commissioner. His name is Kunitake-san, very nice. Sprightly 89-year-old man, he will outrun you. Very nice guy. Anyway, so we had done a few case studies with a South African client, and I asked him, hey, can I do a small event at the Canadian Embassy, and you bring all the mining companies to come and watch? So I did my presentation in Japanese, and then cut to one of the conglomerates comes up later and says, hey, look, we have a client, or we have a mine that we own that is in British Columbia, and it sucks. Can you help us? So use your connections and use the Trade Commissioner Service, honestly. It's a really good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.